Most people see Pope Francis as humble, riding in small cars, wearing simple robes, and living a modest life. But what if we told you there's another side? A side filled with hidden luxury, ancient treasures, and access to things the average person can't even dream of. Today, we're uncovering the secret life of luxury surrounding the world's most powerful religious leader. Stay with us as we count down the top 10 surprising ways Pope Francis lives a life far beyond ordinary. The Vatican's secret treasures. While Pope Francis personally avoids showing off wealth, the place he leads, the Vatican, is filled with hidden treasures. The Vatican museums hold priceless artwork from artists like Michelangelo and Raphael. Gold-trimmed walls, hand-painted ceilings, and rare statues fill the halls. These collections are not just for viewing, they're protected and preserved by the Church, and Pope Francis has personal access to it all. The Pope's personal guards. Pope Francis is always seen walking freely among people, but behind the scenes, his safety is a top priority. The Pope is protected by the Swiss Guard, one of the oldest and most elite forces in the world. These guards wear traditional uniforms, but they are highly trained in modern security. In 2025, their protection involves armored vehicles, facial recognition tools, and advanced communication systems. A city of his own. The Vatican is more than just a church. It's its own country. That's right. Pope Francis is the head of the smallest nation in the world, with its own post office, radio station, currency, and army. This independence gives the Pope freedom that no other religious leader has. He can issue laws, control finances, and lead global discussions from within Vatican walls. It's a unique kind of power, one built on both tradition and modern influence. The Vatican's private banking empire. What many don't realize is that Pope Francis oversees one of the world's most secretive financial institutions, the Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion. This isn't your average bank. With assets worth billions of dollars, it operates under complete secrecy and diplomatic immunity. The Vatican Bank manages investments across global markets, real estate portfolios spanning continents, and financial dealings that remain largely hidden from public scrutiny. Pope Francis has direct oversight of these operations, giving him access to financial resources that most world leaders can only dream of. The bank's customers include Catholic institutions, religious orders, and even select individuals with Vatican connections. In 2025, despite reforms for transparency, the Vatican Bank continues to operate with a level of privacy and financial power that makes it one of the most exclusive banking institutions on Earth. Secret rooms and private libraries. Hidden deep inside the Vatican are rooms the public never sees. These include personal chapels, meditation rooms, and the Vatican Apostolic Library, home to some of the rarest books in the world. Pope Francis has full access to these secret spaces. The library contains handwritten texts, ancient maps, and letters dating back thousands of years. For a man known for simplicity, this private access to knowledge and history is a true luxury of the mind. Papal transportation. Though Pope Francis often chooses a small car, the Vatican still owns a collection of luxurious official vehicles. This includes the custom-made Mercedes-Benz Pope-mobile, armored cars for international visits, and even a helicopter. The Vatican City helicopter, used when quick travel is needed. In 2025, eco-friendly vehicles have been added, but they are still fitted with the best technology and comfort. Exclusive access to world's greatest chefs and cuisine. Behind the humble public meals, Pope Francis has access to some of the world's finest culinary experiences. The Vatican employs master chefs who have trained in the finest restaurants across Europe, capable of preparing meals that rival those served at royal palaces. These chefs specialize in traditional Italian cuisine but can create dishes from any global tradition when hosting international dignitaries. The Vatican's private dining rooms feature tables that have hosted kings, presidents, and Nobel Prize winners. Special ingredients are flown in from around the world. Rare truffles from Italy, premium wines from private Vatican vineyards, and delicacies that cost more per plate than most people spend on food in a month. During state dinners and private meetings, Pope Francis dines on custom china and crystal that has been used by popes for centuries. The Vatican's wine cellars contain vintage bottles worth thousands of dollars each, some dating back decades and reserved only for the most special occasions. Private papal apartments. While Pope Francis famously chose to live in a smaller guest house, the Vatican still holds the traditional papal apartments. A stunning space high above St. Peter's Square. These rooms include private chapels, large libraries, and gold-trimmed rooms once used by previous popes. Even though Pope Francis doesn't live there full-time, the space is maintained and protected. It's a symbol of royal living hidden in plain sight, and it remains one of the most luxurious residences in Europe. Global travel in VIP style. Pope Francis often travels across the globe for religious missions, and each trip is planned like a world leader's tour. He flies on Alitalia or ITA Airways, but his seat and section are specially prepared with extra comfort and safety. In 2025, his trips include special arrangements at airports, high-level receptions, and full control of his schedule. During visits, he stays in top-level religious residences or guest houses, often in complete privacy and security. These are not average trips. They're elite state visits with quiet luxury behind the scenes. The Pope's private art restoration workshop. Deep within the Vatican walls lies one of the world's most advanced art restoration facilities, exclusively available to Pope Francis and his closest advisors. This state-of-the-art workshop employs master craftsmen and cutting-edge technology to preserve priceless artifacts that belong to the Catholic Church. These aren't just any artworks. We're talking about original masterpieces by Leonardo da Vinci, lost sculptures by Bernini, and manuscripts that predate the printing press. The restoration team works with tools worth millions of dollars, including specialized microscopes, climate-controlled chambers, and chemical analysis equipment that can determine the exact age and composition of ancient materials. Pope Francis has the privilege of watching these masters work, often being the first person in centuries to see a painting or sculpture in its original glory after restoration. The workshop also creates custom pieces exclusively for the Pope. Handcrafted items using techniques passed down through generations of Vatican artisans. This access to both ancient treasures and modern artistic creation represents a form of cultural luxury that money simply cannot buy. The Pope's influence over billions. It might not be physical luxury, but Pope Francis holds something more powerful: influence over more than 1 billion people. As the leader of the Catholic Church, his words shape politics, peace efforts, and global charity actions. Presidents, prime ministers, and kings visit him for advice and blessing. In 2025, this influence continues to grow through digital platforms, world summits, and personal meetings. Gifts from kings and presidents. One of the hidden forms of luxury comes in the form of gifts. Pope Francis receives valuable items from world leaders. Everything from handmade artifacts to historic items, rare paintings, and custom robes. These are usually stored in the Vatican's private collection, but they are worth millions. These items represent culture, tradition, and global respect. Even though Pope Francis doesn't ask for them, the tradition of gifting rare treasures to the Pope continues, and it adds layers to his already privileged position. The power to change lives globally. The greatest luxury Pope Francis has isn't material. It's the power to make change happen. Through charities, hospitals, schools, and relief efforts, he controls billions in global aid. The Vatican owns land, buildings, and investments across countries. In 2025, his leadership directs resources to crisis zones, education programs, and moral causes. Having the ability to shift global attention and resources with just one message or action is the kind of power that makes Pope Francis one of the most quietly influential people on the planet. While Pope Francis may live simply by choice, his position gives him access to a world filled with power, beauty, and silent luxury. From hidden treasures to influence that reaches billions, his life is anything but ordinary. If this video opened your eyes to a world few ever see, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more surprising stories about powerful figures, secret worlds, and lives behind the curtain. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.